Hey guys, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I have been documenting writing my debut fantasy romance novel for the past year or so. I'm always looking for new ways to grow as a writer and to make my book the best it can be before I self-publish it in 2025. And so when Reedsy reached out to me and asked me to try out their How to Write a Novel course, I was super excited and couldn't say no because it sounded like the perfect opportunity to continue to grow as a writer and learn new skills. As someone who did not go to college for writing, I don't have a degree in creative writing or English. Writing has just always been a passion since I was very young. The past couple of years, I finally decided to really give it a shot and write my own book and self-publish it. And so having a course like this, I've been taking it for the past month and it has been really wonderful to have a very college style course to improve my writing. It's a 101-day online course. When you join the course, you have a cohort that you're with, and it's basically a whole group of people that you can chat with, you can use as a resource and have them, critique your writing. You can talk to other writers. You have live sprints that you can join with the other writers in your cohort. You also have live editing sessions, the ability to have your work critiqued by the instructor. So it's very much like a real college course. I just want to make it clear that I did not pay for this course. I had the wonderful privilege of taking this course for free in exchange for sharing about my experience here on my YouTube channel. It's one of the wonderful things that has come from having a YouTube channel is wonderful opportunities like this. So the price for the course is quite hefty. I know that it is out of a lot of writers' price range. I think it probably would have been out of my price range, but I did do a little bit of research and it is, from what I can see, very comparable to if you were going to go to a university and take like an actual college writing course. The average of what I kind of saw online was between $1,000 and $5,000 for a college writing course, but everyone is at a different place in their writing career, in their financial life. So if this is something you've been looking for a course to take that is very personalized, where you can get a lot of individual support from others, this might be a really great option for you. If you're interested in the course after watching my fun vlog of trying it out this past month, I have my affiliate link in the description box below, and I do get a small commission if you do sign up for the course using my link. Now let's get to the vlog so I can share all of the wonderful things I learned in this Reedsy How to Write a Novel course as a newbie author trying to finish her debut fantasy romance book.
Welcome to the warm-up sessions of the Reedsy novel writing course.
Hey guys, so it is Monday, October 21st, and next Monday, October 28th, I start my Reedsy course that I am taking right now and trying out. There's a whole bunch of prep videos to kind of get you ready for it and prepare you for starting your book, which I'm not starting a new book for this. I'm finishing my debut novel, but the first prep video is so timely for me right now because I'm finishing up the paperback hardcover kind of version of my book cover for my debut fantasy novel, These Cursed Sands Between Us, and I need to absolutely finalize the back of my cover, what I want it to say, which typically a lot of the back of covers have blurbs or quotes or things like that. This first little video in this writing course is on your elevator pitch for your own novel, and that is what I need right now because I am ready to kind of finish the overall cover. So I'm going to start my prep classes now, and this is the first one. These are warm-up sessions before the actual writing course. So they are pitch, the protagonist, the plot, the point of view, and the place. These are the first things I want you to think about when writing your novel. So I wish I was able to just start a new book right now. It would be kind of fun to just do that with the whole entire course, but I'm in the process of finishing my book, which this course will end in January or February, and that is when I'm hoping to already have released my book. So this will be a fun experience. words. I'm hoping that it will add a lot of like little pointers for when I'm polishing up the end of this book. Hopefully it's a lot of really wonderful knowledge that I can take into the next book and the next book, and I'm excited to learn more. I don't have like a creative writing background. I have a psychology background. I always like did a lot of writing, but I don't have like formal creative writing training. I guess I didn't go to school and study that, and that's not like my degree, but taking like an actual course makes me just kind of feel that like I'm actively doing things to improve my writing all the time. So even if the writing in my first book isn't like phenomenal, hopefully like all these different lessons I'm learning will just make the next book better and the next book better. I'm trying to think about my publishing career as everything's like for the future. I'm always wanting to do better, to do the next thing. So I'm excited to take this. I'm going to watch the videos now, and then I will share my thoughts with you. I wanted to give you guys a overview of what the typical course structure looks like. This is the first prep class, the pitch. It starts with a video like this. They're usually about 10 to 15 minutes long, and every lesson has all of this different information. So a summary, some additional reading, a specific writing exercise that relates to today's lesson, some takeaways, and further resources. So all of their further resources are typically free articles and different things that you can find on Reedsy.com. And that was kind of like the first lesson of the prep classes. But once you get into the actual course, there's a lot more to the week. So it's 6 days of learning and 1 day of rest, but the 6th day is actually just listening to different authors about the topic. They kind of share their own individual works and like how they utilize some of this information. And then when you actually go into the classes, the only thing that's kind of different for the regular course versus the prep classes is there's a lot of different books that Tom looks at to kind of display real life works that are exemplifying that different topic that we're talking about, and then he links all the different books there if you wanted to look at them in more detail. So that's the only like big difference. They do a thought of the day, and if you are starting a brand new novel during this course, their goal is for you to do about 1,000 words a day, so 5,000 a week, which would make it so that when you finish the course you would have a 75,000 word manuscript ready of your novel. Good morning. It's Tuesday, October 21st, 22nd. It's Tuesday, October 22nd, and I just got back from getting my hair done, just a little blowout, which is always so nice, but I've been having trouble washing my hair because of my herniated disc like back problems, and standing there and like doing that is really difficult. So my hairdresser fit me in to get it like washed and just blow dried because it was feeling kind of crazy, which is good. So now I feel fresh, and I just got wonderful news that in 2 days I will be getting a treatment for my back that will hopefully make me feel wonderful afterwards. That's the plan. Basically today I want to do a lot of really productive things for writing, because although I think I will feel well after this shot, I may be really out of it for a couple days, I'm not sure, and then we'll be on like away on vacation. So YouTube videos done and some writing done ahead of time. So let's be productive today together. Anyways, I got a really cute little notebook for this writing course I'm starting next week, and I just had to share. I thought this was really cute, and then my husband got one. It's got a hairy coo. We just came back from Scotland. This is adorable. Good morning. It's Tuesday. I wanted to update you on my prep for the Reedsy course that I'm doing. I should have finished it all yesterday. Yesterday was like the first day of the course, which that's exciting, but I have not been doing so hot with my health, so I didn't really start the course yesterday. I plan to start it today. Yeah, so I just wanted to tell you a little bit about how I thought about the prep. Prep is like 5 courses, 5 little videos. I did the first 3. And they're all about like the basics of like the story writing, plot, characters, point of view, like lots of different basics that you kind of think about when you're starting a book for the first time. I think if you knew absolutely nothing going into like writing and you were starting your first book, the prep would be so helpful. But since I'm in the middle of my first book and I'm almost done with it, and I have done like a ton of research, it hasn't been that mind-blowing. I feel like you're a little far away, sorry. Yeah, so it hasn't been that mind-blowing yet, but this is literally just like the prep of the whole entire course. Okay, editing Sarah is popping in right here to comment on what I'm saying. After taking a lot more of the course, I'm so glad that those beginner classes were very beginner, because I can see how if you were new to writing, trying to jump into the later lessons would have been a lot and like very overwhelming, because they really do get into the nitty-gritty of like everything you should think about when you're writing a book, like character flaws and this, and like just really delving deep into all these different components. And I feel like if you didn't start with things like plot, point of view, just why should we care about your protagonist, like starting with that bird's eye view is really important. And also when going through this course, that if I had done a course like this before I started this book, the actual writing of this book would have been way easier. Because I think in the moment I just thought the opening course things would be way more interesting. I don't really know why, but later on they are all very interesting and really made me think a lot. The beginning just kind of starts at a macro level, and then we go down a micro. So that's editing Sarah's comment. But let's get back to the vlog. Today I'm gonna finish all the prep work, and then I'm gonna start my first classes. We're going away on vacation tomorrow, and my other family is like already on their way there today. But my husband and I just needed like a whole extra day to kind of like get ready for it. So hopefully I get a little bit of writing done while I'm there. It's like this little house in the mountains that we like to go to in Georgia, and we're really just there for the weekend. We just literally pretty much do nothing but apples, fall leaves, like we try to just relax. And so I don't think I did it last year, but the year before I got a lot of reading done and a lot of writing done. The first year we went, I read the ending of Kingdom of Ash while I was there, and I just sobbed at the kitchen table sitting there. My mom walked up and was like, oh my gosh, is that your book? Like, what's going on? Why are you crying? It was the book. The whole ending, sitting at a kitchen table in this house in the mountains, sobbing. And anyway, so I always think of that when I go there, but I'm excited to get some relaxation time. We just have to get through the drive tomorrow. We have to go through Atlanta, which if you live in the South, you know that driving through Atlanta is like one of the worst experiences possible, and you have to like time your driving very specifically. Anyways, but we're gonna get started. I got my coffee. It's time to watch some videos. It's probably gonna be like, I think I have like an hour's worth of video information to watch. About 9 a.m. I'm feeling like super tired and out of it after I've had this like injection, and that's just how I felt. I feel tired. I started reading a really fun book series yesterday, which is not new at all. It's just new to me. I saw a TikTok of it. It's by the writer of The Inheritance Games, which I haven't read either, but it's called The Naturals. It's YA, and it's like a bunch of really gifted kids that solve cold case crimes for the FBI, and it's been really fun. It's been helpful getting in the mindset of like twists and turns for my own book. Now that I've been writing for a while, it feels like when I know the author's like directly like trying to draw my attention to different characters, it's like, oh, I gotta do that in my book with different stuff. It's such a fun feeling following the red herrings in the book, you know, and being like, oh, maybe it's this character, maybe it's this character, maybe it's this character, and then it like still somehow surprised me. But then when I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, it totally makes sense, like why it was that character. I just somehow like really didn't see it, you know. So I really enjoyed it. I read the whole book in one day. The first book was on Kindle Unlimited, but tell me in the comments if you're reading anything fun, if you're watching anything fun. I'm always looking for like new things to read. I have so many books in my house, but sometimes it takes that like random push or endorsement by somebody for me to just like pick it up for the first time.
Now have a look at the story that you want to write. Firstly, look through the checklist of positives and negatives for both viewpoints and tenses. Which of the points stand out for you in relation to your own novel? Which positives sit most closely, and which negatives feel like the biggest challenges? Is there a clear preference for one of the 4 options? If not, which combination feels like the best fit?
I just finished my next prep session for this course, and it was on point of view and tense, which I was like, oh, I already know what point of view I'm doing, but I hadn't really thought about the tense because I'm just writing the way I felt it worked, I guess. So that's something interesting about this course. I feel like it's making me like look into things a bit more. I think in my mind it was like, it doesn't really matter what the tense is, it just matters that it's all consistent and there's no like switching in it. But when I'm drafting, I'm just kind of writing how it feels natural, and I realize I'm writing in past tense, but that's what sounds most natural to me. And I guess I never really like analyzed that, but I really like they have a lot of like additional resources and like documents and stuff you can kind of look at, and that's definitely helpful. So I'm gonna have to think about that. It's an interesting take. It's like the guy who is doing the course is just like, there's no right or wrong, it's just like what you want to achieve. So I like that because grammar is not really like my strong suit. It's like I know when something sounds right, I don't really think about like why or how, but I feel like I always feel kind of less than for feeling that way. I don't know, I guess I just always have thought like I'm not very good at grammar because I'm not really good at like diagramming sentences. So it's kind of nice to hear like that kind of stuff doesn't matter. It's like what's best for the story. Everything I feel like is coming down to like, you want to tell the story to the best of your ability using the right like language tools instead of like this type of thing is better than this. I feel like that's what I hear a lot, is like people saying their opinions of like, this is more difficult to write and so therefore it's better, or I don't know, just different stuff. So my book is first person past tense, apparently. I mean, I knew it was first person, I just wasn't thinking about it like that. So, which is on the scale, it leads to more depth in the story. I don't know, it's just kind of interesting the way they were talking about it. So yeah, a lot to think about. I'm gonna do my last prep session now, and then I'm going to move on into the like official lessons of the day. And that's it. I'm completely done with the prep classes. I really liked this last one. It was about setting in place, world building, all that kind of stuff. It had some really good questions, and it had a really good questionnaire that's just on their website that I think I am going to go through and like see if there's any way I can improve my setting. Just in general, I really like world building and all that kind of stuff, so I want to make sure it's good in my book. So I'm gonna look at that. Today we are in the parking lot right now of a coffee shop that I like, and we're gonna get some work done. I am mostly going to be focusing on my Reedsy course that I've been taking and catching up. I'm a little bit behind, so I'm going to be sitting down, watching a bunch of videos, taking some notes while I drink some of my favorite coffee, and maybe doing some of the writing exercises before I really get into writing this week. It is Wednesday, November 19th, 20th, something like that. The course has been going for a while. It's been going really well, but I am quite behind. So let's go catch up together and have some yummy coffee. And so today's lesson, like, that really impacted me the most, one was about how to create additional tension by having like peril, having your characters be in danger, like physically, emotionally, like how to raise the like stakes in your writing through internal and external stakes and areas that you can add tension and kind of keep that reader like really hooked while you're reading. And then the other thing I really liked was kind of about voice and creating space in your writing, and basically how we should be leaving a lot of room in our writing in the way that we like describe things and the amount of information that we're putting forward to allow the reader to infer things and to kind of like draw their own conclusions based on their own backgrounds, and like it can impact each reader differently based on like what they find in the story. And I really like that. That's something I was already thinking about. I went to like a counseling session this morning. We were talking a little bit about my writing in it and just discussing like what I really want people to get out of my writing is like to make sure that it like impacts them and like that they feel seen and like heard, and see characters go through things that they've also experienced, and then be able to like take that into your personal life and kind of like make changes. Has made me think about like different things that I want to get across in the novel instead of just like this is the story. And I feel like that's what's missing sometimes when I read certain books. I'm like, this was a good book. The story was interesting. I really liked the characters, but the characters that I really connect with, I feel like have changed my life in the way that I like live it on a day-to-day basis, are ones that are very multifaceted, that have like real problems and also like overcome things and think about like a lot of, it usually has to do with a lot of mental health. It has to do with like seeing like a big transformation in a character. And I think that was something that was kind of missing from my story. And it's like I knew I wanted to write some kind of story that like changes someone's life, that makes them feel seen and heard, and that they can connect with. I couldn't grasp like what I wanted to happen to the character and like that starting place and how it would change them. Like I had ideas, but none of them were really it. And today we like really talked about some stuff and I just really like where it's going. I don't know, it's been so therapeutic. I guess writing has always been like so therapeutic to like talk about and think about, but this book in particular just has like me processing a lot of things, and I'm really enjoying it. I feel like I'm gonna be a better person after I finish this book and hopefully like understand myself better and like move on. And that was really interesting with the Reedsy course today, talking about voice and how it's so like uniquely you, and how you kind of have to put yourself into your writing in order to like really be authentic and real in it. I feel like I'm doing that now, and it's so exciting. I caught up on a week of videos, and then I brainstormed, really like wrote down some ideas and thoughts in my book, like in Scrivener, that I felt like had to do with the courses, like things that I thought about in the courses. So I am really enjoying that. I feel like they're really helping me brainstorm and think about things differently. I kind of wish there was a little more variation in the examples, because I sometimes struggle. A lot of them are like thrillers when they're doing examples, or literary fiction, and I find romance a difficult genre because you have like the like whole story arc and like story plot, and then you have like the romance arc, and sometimes I wish there were very specific examples with that. So I'm hoping later on in the series there might be more. I did see there's like a live event with somebody who is a romance author, I think, which is one of the first ones I've seen, so I need to go back and watch that. Just missed it. It was like yesterday, and I'll have to see how that kind of goes. It's a very well thought out course. It feels a bit more geared towards traditional publishing in the like recommendations and style of like, you know, wanting an agent to like pick up your book, and like what's going to make, you know, agents kind of like look at your book, or publishing companies look at your book, differentiate your story from others and choose yours, which is not really relevant to me since I'm not traditionally publishing my book. I don't really care about that kind of portion. It's like, I guess my viewpoint is I want my book to be unique and different, but that's not like the main focus. I'm just trying to do the best in telling the story that I'm telling, and I know that I'll just naturally get better book by book. Not really looking to make the like perfect book first, you know? It's about 5 o'clock and I'm hoping to get in just a couple minutes of actual writing time. I watched one more video for Reedsy. Didn't realize I had one more video left. They do an author panel every week, and so it was a bunch of different authors reading their first opening pages and kind of like what inspired that, why they chose to start there. Very interesting. Sitting in my new office, which is not completed, but it's fun to finally be writing in here. I'm gonna write for at least 10 or 15 minutes, try to get in a couple of words, and try to write a little bit about what I kind of brainstormed from the Reedsy classes today. And I'm gonna take my notebook for a few minutes and listen to some music that really inspires me with this story. I'm gonna brainstorm some of these ideas I jotted down and hopefully get a few words in. Let's get to work. Friday and I'm still playing catch up with my Reedsy course, so I'm going to devote some time. Yesterday was like full candles YouTube video, my Shopify shop, editing everything, getting it all ready, sending little emails out about my new candles that I have. And today we are editing YouTube videos. That's what I did all morning, and now it is time to catch up on my Reedsy course and get into some writing for the day before I go ship out an order and like run a few errands and things like that. This week is on character. Let's get to it. I'm gonna kind of show you what we're learning about. So I'm excited about this one. So today's lesson is on creating compelling characters and like what the elements of that are. Let's start today's lesson.
Welcome to week 3. This week we're all about character, and we're going to begin by looking at the topic of caring and liking. As we've talked about previously, a reader will read on in a book for 2 reasons. Either because they want to know what happens next, or they care about the characters. I think the crucial word in that second part of the sentence is that word, caring. One of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're starting to write is to confuse the idea of caring about a character with liking a character.
In the cold kitchen light, we both look for a sign, and you say, these are troubles of mine. Weary thoughts of breaking up, coming under.
Readers enjoy plots as they are reading, but what tends to resonate, last and linger on, is the emotion. Now I suspect it partly comes back to the way that reading works, how readers are invited to use their imagination to bring the story to life. Feeling is a way they can draw on their own experience to understand. So if, say, a character is feeling betrayed, or if a character is feeling scared, the reader will be able to draw on an experience from their own life to help them imagine the scene.
For me, character development is the most important thing in a book.
Looking back on this past month of taking the How to Write a Novel course by Reedsy, I feel like my book is so much stronger. Honestly, didn't think it was going to be that much of an impact starting it, and the more that I worked through all of those lessons and classes and really thought about how they could all apply to my writing, I have like countless pages in my like journal here that I brainstormed and thought through different scenes. I think the biggest thing I really took away was all about the characterization and like your voice and like putting yourself into the novel. I guess with going through all the different examples of other stories that were fully embracing their own personal voice as an author and the type of story they're trying to get across with the message they want to get across, it really helped me pick out very specific messages that I want to get across and then figure out ways to implement that into my specific characters and have them overcome in like their story arc those themes that I really want to be in my story. And it really just gave me a lot of hope that this book can be what I want it to be, even though it is my first novel that I'm writing. Even though I don't have a degree in creative writing, I don't have like agents and different publishers looking at my work, I really feel like by taking this class I have improved my story as a whole, and I'm really excited to see where the rest of the course takes me and what else I can be improving from here on out. So thanks so much for watching my vlog, and I'll see you in the next video.